welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro, where we serve it up responsibly every day. That is 100% Bible study in the Psalms. You know our little jingle, our little elevator speech, 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. That's what Daily Dose Radio does. Today we are in verse 4. All this week we've been studying Psalm 127, one of the Ascent Psalms. So we're headed up to Jerusalem. Let's not lose sight of that. There's a lot of material here. There's a lot of doctrine here. But let's not lose sight of the fact that this is a song of ascent. So we're headed up. We left Meshach in the tents of Kedar, and we are headed towards Jerusalem. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds His people. We're headed there, and although we don't have Jerusalem mentioned, we do have the city mentioned there in verse 1. So this is an ascent psalm which reminds us that we're continuing to think about the city. The city is one of those theme words throughout the Ascent Psalms. The watchman is a theme word throughout the Ascent Psalms. Jerusalem and Zion are also theme words throughout the Ascent Psalms. So we have a lot of these same ideas that are being brought up again and again as thematic things. And so we're headed towards the city. We're thinking about the Lord who is building something. He's building our families. He's building the church. Here in verse 4, we have the similitude. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Again, this similitude comes in after that word as, so we're making a comparison. The children are an heritage of the Lord as arrows. So we know that the children are to be compared to the arrows. And arrows in the hand of a mighty man. Your children are your strength, especially when you're older. The children born in your youth are the strength of your youth, and when you get older, those children become the strength in your old age. And so this is a wonderful analogy. It really speaks to the strength of a family. And as he'll mention tomorrow, if you have a bunch of children, you're probably in pretty good standing. We'll talk about that tomorrow, though. There's another way to see this, though. As yesterday we talked about the family unit as being an important part of God's work in the world, and then we looked at the mystical side of that, and we talked about the family of God, children and heritage of the Lord as members of the church. So the church is preaching the gospel is going out, people are hearing the gospel, and they're responding to the Lord because of the church's message. Here we have the children are as arrows in the hand of a mighty man. Well, who's the mighty man? If we continue that spiritual analogy, then the mighty man is the Lord. So what's He using the arrows for? Whatever He wants. The arrows are in His hand, and He will use them as He sees fit. He's the mighty man. You don't tell a mighty man how to go about his duties as a defender and as a military agent. You don't tell him that. He knows. That's why you call him a mighty man. So the Lord, who is the mighty man, He's going to do with His arrows exactly as He sees fit. He will use them for His own glory, which, of course, is the first question and answer in the Catechism, the Westminster Catechism, isn't it? So, as arrows in the hand of a mighty man, that's who we are as the church. We are in His hand to be used by Him for whatever He sees fit, but especially for the propagation and distribution of the gospel. Preaching and teaching the gospel is our duty. So are the children of the youth. Now, tomorrow we're going to look at verse 5, and there's a blessing that comes here. And we'll talk about the blessing tomorrow and the quiver and all the rest. So I hope you'll meet me then here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, at Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.